And we are live. You can share it and encourage folks.
As the clock strikes 7, the vibes are alive. Inner circles here where voices thrive. Turn on your screens, let the magic unfold. Listening and healing as stories are told. Come on, come on, this is your time. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. Inner Circle podcast where hearts unite. Sharing our truths, bringing hope to the light. Community strong, we're never alone. Together as one, we've created a home. With laughter and love, we break down the walls. No topics too tough, just heed the call. From mental health woes to justice we seek.
Okay. Welcome everyone. Welcome to our guests. Welcome to everyone around the world watching us tonight. Tonight's topic is a very interesting one. It's about balancing work, life, and family. It's going to be just like on Thursday, just like on Tuesday. This one is going to be loaded. It's going to be fun. Promise it's going to be a very interesting topic, interesting discussion. So you can please join us. You can comment. You can call us on our number. The number tonight is a little bit different. It's 817 600 817. Let me repeat that 817. Welcome, James 600 1525. So our number tonight is going to be 817 600 1525. And the topic tonight is balancing work, life, and family. So I will, the regular panelists, but I will give them each a few seconds to just introduce themselves. Our original host, Sam, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a very great discussion tonight. I'd like to say good evening to the panelists here, all of you, and all of you watching tonight too. We encourage you to join in and contribute in ways that you can. Call in and make a comments here, and we'll love to have that. So look forward to the show.
Okay, next. Am I right, Miss B?
Good evening, everyone. It's your girl, Miss B. Welcome to the show. Let's have fun.
Dream?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm excited to be here, open to learn and share some of my experience with the topic.
Peterson?
Good evening, Peterson straight up from Chicago. Welcome to another show. Tune in for a great show.
Patience?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome you all. I'm excited to be here to learn and share my experience as well.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you to our panelists. So before we dive into the topic, just want to just a little bit of laundry thing. There's a huge hurricane going on in Florida, and for those in the south, so we just want to pray for them and wish them our best. It's never a good thing. Back to back hurricane, Hurricane Helene, and then now Hurricane Milton. So we just want to keep those folks in our prayers. Lastly, here there's an important year. It's an election going on nationally, locally. So for folks in the U.S., please, we encourage you to register. If you're eligible, register and vote and participate. Your vote actually counts and matters. So just wanted to get out of the way. So tonight, guys, as you said, is balancing work, life, and family. So we'll dive right into it. Go to Sam. Sam, what's your take on this topic? Balancing work, life, and family. You're a family man. What does this topic mean to you, and what's your take on it? You're on mute. You're on mute.
I think it's a very important topic, AB, and thank you for giving me the space here. It, it can be hard to do, but it's something that we must try to do because if we don't have a balance, we will find ourselves struggling in some areas. If you're giving more to work, you'll find yourself struggling with family and life as a whole. And so there must be a balance. And if you're struggling to find a balance, you have to try and find ways to do that. And I think we'll be looking forward to us providing ideas and ways that people can find coping mechanisms to balance their life, their family, and to live an overall healthy life. So,
How does work-life balance looks like for Samurai?
for me, I make time for for everything. Man, bottom line, you gotta be able to plan. You have to plan. You have to plan. You have to prioritize. So there are times where you're working. You have to be very mindful of how much you're working. Make sure that the time you have for family is family time, and take some time to do self care as well. Because one of my things I always say, you can give from a plate of depletion. When your plate is empty or your space is empty, you cannot give from that space. So you have to ensure that you're refilling, recharging, so that you can continue to give. That's
Okay, thank you, Miss B. What does balancing work, life, and family looks like to you? What's your take on this topic? You're on mute, Miss B. If you're talking, you're on mute.
Um, Before we started, I was like, sometimes it's just needs to be an episode where we just vent. That's how much that work balance life thing has tension and it collides, right? Um, it's a lot balancing a career that demands a lot out of you, like being second in command at your job. You know, I don't like to call my job my job, my career. I like what I do. I really do.
Okay.
And then balancing family, kids, and their extracurricular activities. So I'm like, I balance my schedule, the daughter's schedule, the husband's schedule, the social life schedule for family and friends. I'm the person that's planning the vacations, planning the dinners, and planning, a lot of that. And so sometimes it's like you get lost in all of that and you have to find time for yourself. And for me, my guilty pleasure is playing Marble Monster or Candy Crush.
Okay.
I don't care. You're not going to make me feel bad about doing that. When it's
Okay.
all said and done at the end of the night, my bed is my happy place. I put on Netflix. I put on the Marble Master game. When I lose my lives, then I go to Candy Crush. When I lose my lives there, I go back to my Marble Master game.
So after all of that,
But
what do you do next?
after I've done all of that,
Yeah.
I do that until I fall asleep, right? And then I wake up, and the first thing, unfortunately, I do is look at my phone and see my calendar and look at my day and how hectic it is, right? Does Seisha have practice today? After practice, am I dropping her off to another,
So your
lesson
so your
and
husband doesn't factor into any of those schedule?
so I know we do this thing where we schedule.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we have to schedule each other in.
Whoa.
And I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback.
Thank you. Dream. What is your take on this topic? Balancing work, life, and family.
Well, thank you. I believe that this is important to it's important to balance your work life and your family because, like Sam said, not doing so can cause problems, especially if you have a family or a marriage, whatever that's important to you, it can cause problem. Work is important and family is much more important. So if you want to work, if you want to set up boundaries, I mean, if you want to have a balance, you have to set boundaries, have priorities, clear your task, learn to say no to, certain things that are not important, things that are going to, if your work is going to intertwine with your family time and activities, learn to the work will not run away. That's one
Okay.
thing I want people to know. Work will always be there. You can lose your job and find another one, always plan ahead. And then, I mean, yeah, this is America. This just as long as you know what you're doing and have a clear schedule and don't let the two intertwine.
So I'll ask you the same question I Miss B. Where does your husband factor into your schedule?
What is my what?
Where does your husband factor into your schedule?
Well, basically, everybody he goes to work, do his thing, and I go to work, do my thing. When it comes to the family, we have shared tax and whatnot. When it
Mhm.
comes to our family time, we make time for our family. We don't let our work, especially now. I'm not really doing much. I just go to 8 hours work and come back home. So it's not my work doesn't really take much of my time. I'm in school. That does take much of my time, but when it comes to my family, I get my I mean, I'm a procrastinator when it comes to doing things, but I still don't let, you know, my work or busy schedule intertwine with my family time.
So okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you, Peterson. What's your take on the topic balancing work, life, and family?
Yeah, this is a important topic that people do not talk about much. And my take on it is, in order to have a healthy life, whether there's work life or family life, you need to have a balance. So if you are one of those people that you're like, oh, I'm in America now, I have to work, work, work. Yes, you can work and provide, and you can make excuses like, yeah, I don't have time. I'm doing 16 hours here, and then I have two jobs. But if you neglect your partner or your children, that is going to take a toll on you later. Although you try to set a good example by showing like you work hard, but at the same time, if you don't have time for your kids, they're going to be like, yeah, daddy was never here or mommy was never here. They were always at work. And then at the same time, if you are, which is something that in our community a lot of people do by just sitting around and not working, then you are so lazy, then that also is a negative impact on you. And then you also have to find time for yourself, like everybody said, which is something that a lot of us struggle with.
Mhm.
Personally, for me to like find that personal time to say, oh, okay, now I'm just going to do something by myself or for myself, I find it difficult to do because sometimes I think like, oh, maybe I'm being selfish if I because I have children, if I don't pay much attention, the time that I do have from work, maybe I should spend it on them.
Okay.
And so, you know,
Yeah, I mean, you do have work-life balance going on right there, as you can see, right? Your little one keeps sneaking in. That's life, We
yeah,
understand that. So
yeah.
that's all right. So that's great, great timing. Patience. What's your take? Balancing work, life, and family.
For me, I would say it's very important. For me,
Hmm.
family comes first. I'm a family oriented person. I can
Okay,
always get a different job. Every time I go look for a job,
sure.
it's revolved around my family schedule and my kids' schedule because I can't make up the time I miss with my children,
Uh-huh.
but I can always work extra hours to make up whatever money I'm missing. So, family time for me, work is work. I do what I'm supposed to do to make sure that financially we're stable.
Hmm.
But family, when it comes to balancing the both, I'm very, very, very good at it
Hmm.
because I like to have routines and schedules and stuff like that, especially when it comes to my families or relationships as well too. So it's a very, very important thing for me.
With your relationship partner, do you have a routine, or is it just
Well, I make time. I don't like to use the word single parent household, but I am a only parent household. So
oh, okay,
my kids, it's the most important thing.
okay,
But I do make time for my romantic relationship because that's important as well too. If I'm choosing to be with someone, I also make time to
yeah,
be with that person.
okay? Thank you, Titus. What's your take? Balancing work, life, and family.
When patients said kids are the most important, it leads me to question whether if a man were there, if the kids would still be the most important, object in the home.
Okay,
But at
so I will hold you. I will hold you there a little bit. Patience. What's your take on that? I will hold you there. Patient, I'll hold
One
you
thing my
there.
mom always tell me is your kids are gonna grow up and leave the home. Your partner, always make time for your partner because that's the person you're gonna grow old with. If I were to be married, my kids are important, but my partner is as important as my kids as well.
Okay, thank you for that. Titus, you can go ahead. I think she addressed your
She
question.
did. She
Yeah,
clearly
okay.
did. Thank you,
Go ahead.
patience.
Nice
No, I
clarity.
think,
Go ahead.
yeah, clarity. I think it's a beautiful discussion. I'm enjoying the views so far, and yeah, this is one thing that is very important, especially amongst within our community as African immigrants.
Hmm.
And I also think that
Go ahead.
it's almost impossible to discuss this topic
Hmm.
without kind of looking at some underlying causes for why majority of African immigrants find themselves doing multiple jobs. You know, the economic disadvantage
Hmm.
that African immigrant families have in this country. So as a result, even when they don't want to put jobs in front of their families, sometimes it's just something that they have to do. It's almost compelling, you know, again, because of the position that we find ourselves in within the system and at the position of the economic table that we're on. But it's very important, very essential, I would say, you know, to find that
So,
balance.
yeah, okay, yeah, thank you for that. I mean, not all. I agree with you, right? A lot of most African family might be economically disadvantaged, but not all of them. Those are in great position.
Definitely not all. Yeah.
Okay, you still find them not making time for either their partner. I appreciate patient here tonight says like, hey, she does make time for her partner. Obviously, the kid's going to grow up and go away, so it's like the partner is very important. And I think like same way, if your wife was doing 16 hours, or your fiance or your wife was doing 16 hours, and she come home and she said she's tired, it's like every time she comes home, she says she's tired. What would be your reaction to that? You find that in most African or immigrant families. You're on mute. If you're talking, you're on mute.
Or if I had that situation, then I mean, if I had a woman and and married a woman and she's doing 16 hours,
Hmm.
um, that's a lot of load on her,
Okay.
right? And if I must complain, then I must be ready to do something about alleviating her in a way, not just complaining and not presenting any solution. So I think
One,
we'll come to the drawing board as
yeah.
to, hey, honey, I don't like you working 16 hours. Is that something I can do? You know, mind you, there are some women, no matter what, man, they would they won't work their 16 hours, right?
Yeah.
But if that's because she's trying to really bring some more extra money in, I would prefer
Hmm.
to do the extra hustle
Okay.
and let her stay at home, with the kids and let me do the extra hustle, man. I want my woman out there doing 16 hours and then what am I doing? Sitting on the couch? Doing what?
Okay.
So I'd
So
rather take two jobs, do 16 hours.
okay, and you do the 16 hours, and then like she still maybe sometimes you come, honey, I've been taking care of the kids all day. I'm tired. I had to go, I had to go do this. I had to go do that. What would be a reaction?
But what was that? My internet glitched.
Oh, my bad. I said you take extra responsibility, right? You have taken on extra duty for her
Yeah.
not to do 16 hours, but then she's still not doing her marital duty. What would be your reaction to that?
What do you mean? What do you mean, Marita? Do this? Tell me,
As
as
your
I don't
wife,
hear.
she has to, take care of you.
Like cooking, sexually,
Cooking, it's like,
giving me sex.
yes, all those things.
Well, then we'll have to talk about it.
Okay.
We'll have to talk about it. And at that point, it's an engagement, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he says engagement.
We'll
Are
have to
you are
engage the
you
issue.
are you are you one of those? I don't think like scheduling. I mean, scheduling is a thing in our community.
Schedule
You
what? Schedule what? The sex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh hell no!
Yes.
I don't
And the
schedule
reality,
sex.
why is everyone
Okay.
calling it
Why should I
marital
schedule
duty?
sex?
Why are
Yeah.
you calling it
Miss
marital
B,
duty? Why
Miss
are you
B,
calling
Miss B,
marital
Miss B, can
duty?
you wait? I haven't got it to you. I haven't got it to
No,
you.
no, no.
Wait,
Answer the
wait,
question. I'm not asking you. Answer the question. Why you calling them married today? Answer the
wait,
Exactly.
question.
wait.
Clarify it.
Sam, what is it? You say you don't you I want you to finish your thought. Do you take scheduling if your wife or your fiance were to schedule you, how will you react to that? Is
Schedule my sex? No, no, no.
yes.
Like I don't roll like that.
Okay.
Thinking that.
I don't roll like that. I don't like schedule. I like the random shit.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
we're no kids watching the theater, man. I like my shit
Okay.
random, man.
Okay.
I schedule what?
Thank you for that. Miss B, go ahead. What were you trying to say?
First of all, I don't like the fact you call it marital duties. Like last
Oh,
time
why?
I checked when people taking those vows,
Uh-huh.
nowhere does it say to sex into sex. Till sex do your part. You know, it's not even in the vows, right? One, people need to be realistic about what type of careers people have.
Okay.
Nursing, medical field, first of all, as a nurse, you're mandated to 12-hour shifts. It's not even an option, right?
Yep.
And people in corporate careers, depending on what position you are in your corporate careers,
Uh-huh.
it's going to take a lot out of you. You know, traveling for work, you know, working long shifts, networking meetings at night for work. You know, some of the deals get done at night, unfortunately, right? And then whatever other like training and stuff like that, it gets done in the evening. I don't think there's anything wrong with scheduling. Random sex happens randomly when randomly availability is available. That's just what it is.
Why
When
does it
random availability
so
is available, then we randomly have sex. If
so
you're
my
waiting
question
for random availability to be available randomly, then you may not have it for a long time. Then you better off just scheduling that sex, okay?
so here's one thing though, is that we are talking about you in our case to me, right? Personally, you are taking your work over your husband because you feel that you have to schedule him. Why do you have to like prioritize no matter your job? Why do you have to prioritize your job with the
Pushing.
man that you took a vow with? You say for better or for worse.
And then his better for worse is understanding the type of job that his wife has, right? Sometimes like I will
So
watch
you're
myself go to
depriving of
work,
his
come home
need.
at
You're
6
depriving
p.m.
of his
One
need
second.
because you're depriving of his need because of the
Man,
type of
that's
job you
that's
have.
what they say. Men are so needy. What you
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
Wait,
Because
wait.
if I go to work, even if I have a professional service job, yes, I'm not doing manual labor for my job, right? The mental capacity that I exercise at work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the day, it's a lot. It weighs on my body physically. One. Two, I leave work, I go and drop a kid off, right? I drop that kid off to the activity. I come and hit the kitchen. I cook dinner. I pick that kid up at 7. We're doing dinner. We're doing homework. Honestly, really? At 9 p.m. at night, you want me to factor in sex? Random sex? No, boo. Let's
Okay, thank
schedule
you.
the day
But
where,
why you gotta be
yes,
the one?
Thank you. Patient. Okay, yeah, go ahead with your
Why
question.
you gotta be the one to drop off the kids and pick up the kids? You guys are partners. This is where you sit, and these things are some of the issues we're facing. Because when we start a relationship, for us women, we make ourselves a homemaker or a housewife. We take on all these extra responsibilities without getting the man involved in it. You are not the only person that knows how to cook. I'm sure at some point in time his mom taught him how to cook. When you guys was having those kids, you wasn't the only person laying in bed to have those children. He
that
has a
part.
car, he has a driver license. You have time to pick up the kids. I mean, it's more of working with each other's schedule. But I personally believe, and I hate to say this, women take on so much responsibility in the home. It make the men to relax, then we use that as excuse to deprive them of their needs. So it goes both way. Like,
Okay.
you guys can share the responsibilities. Tell him, look honey, I'm on my way home, drop the kids to practice, I'm gonna go home and make dinner. If you're free after making dinner, you go pick up the kid, he come home and make himself a plate, eats. You and the child come
Okay.
home, get ready, and you still make. The thing is, people make time for the things they want. That's how I look at life. If you want something, you make time for it.
Okay,
Because
thank you.
when you
Okay,
first started dating, oh yeah, you didn't have kids, but you made time. You had a career at that time. You still made time to be sexy and do this and do that. But once you guys get married, then you put on the lapa and tie, here my mom can say, and that's where the problems start too. Because when he go out there and see what he saw in you, then boom.
okay, thank you, patient Peterson. Do you think the reason why women are put men on schedule with because of work, they are avoiding that situation because they don't want to maybe like satisfy their man needs or the husband?
Just use the word sex. It's okay. It's okay if it's okay.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
okay if you use the word sex.
so to answer your question specifically, I don't think they're using that as excuse, but I just think a lot of women they get influenced by, like, sorry to say, like social media and other women who they will talk to, and if my wife goes and talks to somebody and the person's like, "What? You mean 2 3 times a week? Please,
And
I'm a wife too. I have to schedule. I have this, and then now she has that mentality like, wait, so you mean I've been missing out on my personal time doing all of this? So it's not that they are using it as an excuse to satisfy or to have sex or schedule. I just think is the society we live in and the culture and society, like talking about working women, career wife, and this and that. So even for somebody like me, we're talking about doctor's appointments. 99% of the doctor's appointments, I would take the kids.
Hmm.
And if it's anything extracurricular that has to do with school, I'm the one who taking them. But with that, we still have to find that balance. Like, okay, she works, I work. And even when there was a time that I told my wife, I'm like, you don't have to go to work until you feel comfortable enough to get back to work.
Yeah,
And she's home with the kids 24/7. And
yeah.
then right when I get off work, she's like, okay, here are your kids, you be with them. I gotta go out
And then
somewhere.
even yeah, so all of I mean, even with all of those extra things, assembly,
Hmm.
you got to you are doing all of those things, but you still have to experience scheduling. You know what I mean, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's
you
not,
still, I think it's just a part of life nowadays that you have to deal with, like, okay, and we're not in those ancient times like, hey, where there's a pastor that I heard say that your wife is your property, which I'm like, whoa, how can you say such a thing and be a man of God or claim to be a man of God? So we don't live in that day and age anymore. So if she says she's tired, now we have to become like kids and be like, oh, please. And then,
okay. Thank you, Tadas. Tadas,
I want to
do you think women are
I
using
want to say something.
the excuse of a job or career, busy with the kids, with doctor's appointment to deprive their men of their need?
I think in some cases, but to what Ms. B said earlier, there are some jobs or careers that are really demanding, and at times, folks do not have the choice. Like in the nursing field, like she, talked about, is mandatory, and those women have to work, certain hours. In other instances, I think they don't know how to set boundaries at work. Some women they don't know. They're thinking about the money, the overtime, how much they can get to go get Louis Vuitton or Gucci bags.
Ah,
And they downplay even their own time, their own self care, right? Because you need time for self care. So at least to talk about creating some time for the partner. So not setting those boundaries, and then once that piles up, it's already an excuse, that's created, like for the other person that's in the home. So they'll use that as an excuse. And unfortunately, men, when a man talks about that stuff a couple of times and he feels like he's being ignored, he's gonna find a way to, to appease himself.
Okay, thank you.
mm.
Dream, do you think I
No,
know we have talked about
I
we
tell
have
you,
talked wait, Dream. we have talked about the epidemic of cheating here in our last topic in body counts. Do you think the reason why the whole even the cheating issue in our community and the body count situation is because women in our community is like using the situation of work, family, and not doing what they are supposed to do for their for their partner? Do you think those things, the career, the excuse of a career, busy with kids, is contributing to, the issue we face in our community in terms of cheating, or men going out there trying to increase their body counts?
Wait, are we really circling back to the cheating topic? Because
Yeah, all of these is like these, right? Is like
first
our
of all, let me
topics are all kind of aggression, right? These things. If your husband come home, right? He works hard. He's he's both of you working, right? But he's coming home. He needs something. He needs his wife, and you're not giving him that time that he needs.
Why he not tired? That's what I want to know. Yeah, man.
Miss B, can you can you go ahead, Dream.
So first of all, let me just get this across.
Hmm.
Women too do have sexual needs. So it's not all about what the man need, what he need all the time. What about what she needs? I don't think it's about, in some ways, yes. But if you and your woman have a busy schedule, men tend to leave a lot of times, especially in our African community, like Patient said, men tend to leave all the responsibility of the home on the woman, especially here in America. We're both working, we both have career, we both have jobs. But then I have to come home and care for the kids. And then while you chill, when you come back home from work, all you do is probably be on your phone, engage in extra things that are not contributing to the home. I have to then worry about, waking up in the morning, getting the kids ready for school. I have to worry about all of that. You're not helping. So if partners can come together and work together, help with, we're both working, we both have the responsibility of the family, then we can do random sex, random whatever you want,
Okay.
and do all of that. So I don't think it's about, I
Okay.
just feel like it's partner,
Okay.
having to work together.
Sam, do you think we immigrants, African men, in Africa is the men work, the women take care of the home. But now here in the Western world, both partners are working. Do you think men need to take more home responsibility, like cleaning the dishes, doing laundry? Do you think we African men or immigrants, that need to realize that it has to be when it's 50, even if it is 60-40 in terms of working, it has to be 60-40 in a home, help your partner. Do you think, it's like men?
Absolutely,
Yeah, okay.
absolutely. My motto of relationship is partnership. I believe in the partnership aspect, and I think I shared that with my buddy Tatas too. I think Tatas believe in that partnership thing along with Peterson. I think all of us here as men believe in partnership, and frankly, it works well here in the U.S. Okay, for this
Mhm.
culture. Look, the women are busy. Some women are working more than men. Some of the women are pulling these doubles, right?
Mhm.
Bringing in more money than these guys,
Okay.
right? Some of these guys got office jobs and they go sit on there 9 to 5, come home and flip TV, and one was working. I believe when you come home, wash dishes. Nothing wrong with that. It's a partnership. Do the laundry. There's nothing wrong with that. You know,
Yeah.
grab her laundry, do her laundry, grab the kids' laundry, do it. You're just throwing the thing in there and throwing in the other one anyway. You're just switching things. It's easy. So when you create that balance for her, you helping her create that balance. Then you
Sure.
can start to request your sex as often as you want.
Okay.
And quickly, let me just dabble into what Miss B will say here. The whole scheduling thing, what? Let me not go there because I answered the question I answered. I hope to come back to that, but let me leave it as that.
Somebody said something
No,
in the
no, no, no. So I want to take on the whole scheduling thing. Listen,
I,
Man,
I,
man,
I don't want
Sam
to
said,
agree. I don't agree with the scheduling thing. I
okay.
I
Me
I
too.
like to say timing. We should have a timing.
Mm.
You know what I mean? If you got kids in the house, have a timing. Wait, when the availability presents itself, you go for it.
Yeah.
You don't
yeah,
always have to have a 1 hour, 30 minute
scheduling
session
sounds.
or 20-minute session. You can
Okay.
find out little 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and sometimes the one can be sweet. Those are the most enjoyable one of quickies.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay. Okay.
go
What do
Thank
you
you.
get
got,
Thank you,
cookies?
Sam.
get
Thank
your
you.
cookie, cookie
Wait.
stand.
Thank you,
Just go
Sam.
downstairs, eat that thing in the basement real quick. When you're done, call me before you come upstairs. That 10 minutes, you go get it on.
Okay.
You know, you
Thank
gotta
you.
wait for
I
one
like
hour.
this. Yeah.
Now you need
Thank,
schedule. Scheduling what?
yeah.
Scheduling what?
You're
Thank you.
scheduling
Wait, guys. Wait, guys.
The
Please.
bad boy.
Please, we shouldn't talk over each other. Folks, if you are listening, great discussion here tonight. We are talking about balancing work, life, and family. Our number is 817-600-1525. And you can comment in our comment section and contribute to our topic tonight. If you want to call us to tell us, how's your work-life balance? Is it, are you scheduling at Miss B? Or are you someone who,
Are
free
you
flow with
random
your
like Sam?
817-600-1525. The ladies out there, if you are scheduling like my sister Miss B, call us, and tell us why are you scheduling. Patience, what's your you wanna I know you had a question for
Yeah,
Sam.
no, I wanted to say something, and I think somebody commented on there too, saying the same thing. The thing about, like I said earlier, with us women, we take on these roles. Men are like babies. You literally have to tell them what you need for them to give you what you need. We have to learn how to communicate. We can't just assume that he knows that there's a lot of work in the home for him to do. Yes, he knows, but he's not going to do it. Why would I be in the kitchen cooking, taking care of the kids, and he's downstairs in the basement on his phone or playing video game?
Mhm.
You're my partner. You're supposed to be upstairs helping me as a team. If he don't have the common sense to do that, call him every 5 minutes. Like, come open the jar. Come grab me this. I can't reach this. Can you do that? After a while, he would get irritated and he would just stay upstairs. We have to find a way to get these men to do what we want them to do, to be as involved as we are in the home.
Okay.
But we just take it. This is what we saw our parents doing, especially a lot of us African women. We saw our parents being a homemaker. They did everything. They did the cooking, the cleaning, the taking care of the kids, and everything. And we grew up with that. It's stuck with us now, and we're doing it with our husbands. We work too. Like everybody, if I'm dating someone, I tell you, if we are to the point where we're going to live together, this is what the schedule is. We come home. We are a team in this house. Even my kids, I tell them we're a team. We work together as a team. It has to be a meeting. Come to the table, have these conversations. Ask for help. That is your partner. That's somebody you're doing for better for worse with. But if you just be like, okay, since I'm doing all of this, I finish cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, I go to shower and go to sleep, you're depriving your husband of you. Basically, you're taking that away from him too. You have to look at it on both aspects. Yeah, you're doing a lot, but you're not asking for help.
Yeah.
And he wants you, and you can give yourself to him. So ask for help. That's all we ladies need to do. Tell these big babies that we need them to be hands-on and help her out so they can get what they want too. But you can't just say, "Oh, since you're not helping me, I'm not gonna give you this," or "We're gonna schedule sex." What is scheduling sex? Sex
Miss
is not
Okay,
supposed to be scheduled.
thank you. Miss B, what is stopping you from asking your husband for help, having to to allow you guys to have that balance, in everything else. We're talking about balance here.
There's nothing stopping me now. I will admit earlier on, I just did everything because I have this thing, well, like if it needs to be done, it needs to get done. And so, we factor in who does drop off and pick up, but yet and still, he does drop off in the morning and I'm doing pickup. Midday I do pickup, right? Because even though our daughter's in high school, she doesn't take the school bus. She hasn't taken the school bus probably since like second grade.
Okay.
It's a thing that we do, right? And so I'll do pickup midday and then I'll have to take her back for the extracurricular activity. And then I have to be the one to come back and pick her up again from the extracurricular activity, right? And if it's a game, a game day or whatever, I have to be factoring all of that. We have a used car dealership. He's a salesman or whatever. So he's running that business all day long. I'm working at my profession all day long, right? And my thing is like, you're doing what you do all day long. I do what I do all day long, but I still do that other parts, right? Even when we do share it, I still feel like I'm doing more. And then it's like I'm oftentimes he knows how to cook, but I'm the one who's responsible. Like, oh, what are we? I'm at work trying to figure out what are we gonna eat today. What is the quickest thing I can go home and utilize with the time that I have? I'm using all this mental, time is, and I'm it's making me tired. So if you realize I don't have time for sex, what are you supposed to do? I shouldn't have to communicate any further. If I'm not having time for sex, what does this tell you? What you need to do? Step in there, give me some relief, and then I'll have time for sex. So, and then what's the frequency here, right? That you guys need to have this sex. Like, how many times a week? How many times a day? I'm
Okay.
off every weekend. I don't work Saturdays and Sundays. I haven't worked Saturdays and Sundays in over 12 years.
Okay. Thank you.
I
Okay.
like to
Thank
get
you.
it on a Saturday, but we're gonna go to the gym, get my work on, come from the gym.
So
Yes.
wait,
And then we're gonna
wait,
eat.
wait,
I'm living, I'm living
interesting
in
like
the
that.
house
Wait,
every
okay,
damn day.
There is no winning with her.
Every damn day.
wait. Sam, what are you, what's the reaction to that? Because it seems like Miss B here like to, like, number one, her schedule, she want to make sure she get in certain situation or certain mood in order for anything to happen. What's your take on that?
You know, for Denise as a person, kudos to you. If it's working for you, bless up. You know, but if you and I were partners, it would be a problem. We'll have to sit at a table and discuss the issue. It's an issue because I'm not about to be looking forward to Saturday. So you know those mornings when I
You are excited after the
yeah,
gym.
especially when we not go work out at the gym and come back sometimes, I will, you know, get up in the morning, things that all standing here and there. You got touch, you can say, oh, it's Saturday. I'm gonna do it for Saturday.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, imagine you come from out with a boys, then you dressing on low energy, and then you come to her, then baby, oh, it's Saturday. Oh. What? And the thing about it, like I said, it depends how you look at the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Like y'all can't even be going for a drive at a grocery store, for something at a grocery store, and just pull over and make things happen.
Mm.
What about to drive for lunch and find a park? I mean,
Do that, and the
This is the kind
and the
of
police will
idea that we
address
kind of have. You know what I'm saying?
the police will show up with their flashlight.
Okay.
Police will
Titus.
show where.
Okay, thank you.
But they ain't got they need a search warrant for my car.
Okay. Okay, guys. Interesting topic. Again, our number here is 817-600-1525. We are talking about balancing work, life, and family. It's a very important topic, I think, for our community. A lot of our women out there that are holding it down, working hard. The men are working hard as well. But sometimes, like, it's like the family dynamics is not being factored in. That balance is not there. So, Titus, you have a lot of guys in our community that, sometimes every Saturday morning they get up and go on the field, and things like that. It's like, isn't that a view, like, it's not like you and your partner works all week, and then maybe like times for that family time on a Saturday, you get up and say, hey, I'm going on the field. What's your take on that? Is that something shouldn't we like have when say family time, Saturdays or Sundays should be used as a family time? We should encourage that more in our community.
Yeah, well, going on the field in the morning could be just a self care time for that man. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're spending all day on the field. So
We do
if
have some dudes though that spend all day there and come one night.
Oh,
yeah, I'll frown against that definitely because if you and your partner are busy all through the week, the scheduling that Ms. B is talking about should really be with family activities, whether it's with your partner or with the kids or just with everybody, together.
Mhm.
I strongly believe that those things should be scheduled, right? As far as the other part, yeah, I'm not with that. I don't support her on that. So, but yeah, it's a self care time for the man. Men need to spend time with themselves. Saturday mornings really be some of the only time that a man has to get out of his home, get out of his busy schedule. Hang with the boys, work out a little bit, clear his mind. Go back home with a clear head to his madam and the family. So I would encourage that, but just it should be healthy. Don't go on the field and sit all day there And you can't out of woman already sleeping and you don't wake her up to do a thing.
Okay. If you're one of those that are on a Saturday schedule, how will you take that?
On what side of this game?
If you're one of those, if you're one of those that are on a Saturday schedule, where like, you have
My
to go
brother,
to the
why would I
gym,
be on a schedule?
yeah.
Why would I be on a schedule in the first place?
Okay.
Just if
Yeah, I don't even like that if in the first place. I don't like
So you
that
don't
if.
take scheduling is a no for you.
It's boring, man.
Yeah,
Don't
what's
kill a
the
me
relationship.
excitement?
too,
You
Silas.
can't
I
schedule
agree.
that other activity you should not schedule is boring. You're gonna make a relationship really dry. Okay, honey, meet me at 5 o'clock. Okay, 4 o'clock. Stop
It's
it,
happy
man.
hour.
Stop it. Stop it, bro.
Nobody said
Okay,
Pacific
wait,
time and
wait,
hour
wait,
here.
wait,
Nobody
wait,
said.
wait.
Tuesday evening at
Busy in
7.
the room, not even
Dream,
anywhere
Tuesday
else.
evening
okay,
at
okay,
7:30.
Dream. If that you have a comment here, go ahead. The scheduling thing, Saturday. Are you one of those that whether it's a Friday or it's a Saturday? Do you do that? Have you ever done that?
Oh hell no.
Okay.
But sorry for the French, but I don't believe in scheduling
Mhm.
because, like Tata said, it's very boring.
Mhm.
And another thing I wanted to address was the comment on women communicating where they need help.
Yeah.
Men are not kids. You can't be a grown married man talking about men are babies. When it comes to emotional availability, yes, there are babies, but owning up to responsibility in your home, that's not about being a baby. If you see a woman struggling, like Miss B said, she can keep, scheduling sex with you and whatnot. Pay attention to those things and where can I help? What's going on? Why are we scheduling? It doesn't have to be the woman that have to come up to you and tell you, oh babe, can you help me? Like, are you a child? Aren't you seeing? Like, don't you know like when something is wrong, you
Exactly.
know?
What's wrong with you asking for help though, or communicating? Like the
I mean,
patient said,
if
what?
it gets to a point, yeah, I will. But why should it have to be that way, though?
Why will you let it get to a point? Why don't you communicate?
No,
You
I'm
know,
just saying, I'm not
everything's
gonna.
about communication.
You don't
Yes,
wait for me to
we
communicate
both
sex.
communication works both ways. It works both ways. You're a human being. You can ask. You can bring it up. You can. What can I help? How can I help? Why are you putting me on schedule?
Well, like
If
here's the thing though. So my take on that, right? We African men, most of that came from Africa. We used to the women doing all of the housework. So
Mm-hmm.
when we come here, we see
that's
that I expect the woman to cook, to
Mm-hmm.
clean. Like the same said earlier, like, it should be a responsibility. But most of us don't know that. So why don't you communicate that? You say, hey, sweetheart, that is different. If I'm cooking, please come in the kitchen and help me. And sometimes I think you can spice it up maybe by wearing something sexy, and he might be in the kitchen with you.
Mm.
what. There you go. What if this is a man you're telling, like you said,
Mhm.
African men get will not hit. They're so very unavailable in so many ways. You telling this person, can you help me? Can you do this? They do it one time, next thing they go back to looking at you and doing
So
everything.
which
And
African
talking
man you
about
talking about?
spicing things up. What if you guys have, somebody else in the house living with you and you can't do it? Or what if this is a man who's worried about, oh, I can't do it, Nick. I can't do the other one. I can't do that other one. And you have to be, I'm not your mother. I'm not here to come be telling you, oh, you only man up when it comes to when you want sex, and that's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to man up in every area, in every aspect of our family. It doesn't
Okay,
only have to be surrounding when you want, when you need.
okay, thank you. Sam, what's your question?
I agree with you, Dream.
Wait,
No, the
Definitely.
Sam.
way the way Dream just trashed all of us, that why I
Uh-huh.
was just asking.
Okay.
I'm trying to get clarity.
Oh, you're trying to get clarity regarding what, like the all African, like African men thing?
Yeah, she said
Yeah,
all
Yeah, she said
African men
all men have coconut heads or something.
I got coconut hair and we are emotionally unavailable.
Are you? So you're not in that category, of course.
And I know many men who are not there. All the men that are here, we are emotionally available.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you, guys.
So
Again,
what about sleeping patterns? If he
On
tends to go to
Saturday,
sleep soon and then wants to wake up 3 a.m. for 3 a.m. sex. And that's when I'm a night owl. Yeah, I'm a night owl. And then that's when I'm about to close my eyes and fall asleep. Then you want to be waking up so we can play the dosey do, dosey do, dosey do. Like people have opposite sleeping patterns. So therefore that too messes with the ability for that randomness that you talk about, Sam. Like if you are the type of person by 9 p.m. you lay in the bed, you're done. Whereas I'm the type of person I gotta be up probably for then don't fall asleep until like probably midnight, right? And by the time I find myself falling asleep, you've gotten good 3 hours worth of rest or 4 hours worth of rest, took a little nap, and now you ready to have sex, and I'm ready to go to bed because I gotta be up at 7 a.m. in the morning to go to get ready for work.
Okay. Okay, guys, thank you. Great discussion here
Yes.
tonight. Again,
Thank
our
you.
number is wait, our number is 817-600-1525. Let me just, the whole balancing thing is a family thing where it's holistic. Most of our families do not take vacation, don't take the kids out or the wifey or the fiance on vacation. It's like they balancing work, life, and family thing where it's not only about we coming home doing random sex
Right.
or going on a fee every Saturday or going out to eat. Vacation. Most of us work so much we don't take time to do vacations. Peterson,
Mm-mm.
Sure.
I'll go on you now. Why our men don't take the responsibility to take our fiance and our wives on vacation to like a Caribbean island? And Miss B said she's the one planning, she's the one responsible for planning the vacation in home. Why we African men are not taking more responsibility of doing that?
Yeah, it is a part of the relationship that most African men do need to step up. Uh, and I mean, there's always some outliers or people who are out of the norm to say, okay, well, these people don't take vacations or they don't travel. But I think because we just not used to that. And growing up back home, if you grew up there or you grew up here, our parents were never taking vacations. The only time they would take vacation if it's like a church conference. They don't consider that vacation. We're traveling as a family to some state or to some religious function. So it's not something that we're used to say, oh, okay, every year every few months, take your family, if it's a whole family or your partner goes somewhere. It doesn't have to be some exotic island. You can always take vacation somewhere. So I think a lot of us are not used to that. That's why.
Okay, Sam, what can we do to change our dynamics? I mean, it's like Peterson is saying it's a cultural thing. What can we do to encourage more of our men? Right? It's not only us coming home, oh, I'm working, I'm hanging with my boys, but we don't take our family on vacation. What can we do to change our dynamics to take more of that responsibility?
Yeah, I heard him say that and sounded more like, there are instances where people see things and they themselves start to follow that, pattern as well. And it is true. I can agree with that. But that can be changed. And I think that um people need to just talk more, communicate, and say, "This is us. This is the life that I." And as a woman, if you are with a man who doesn't prioritize traveling and you prioritize traveling, you like to travel, speak up, say something. Hey, I love you, but I want to travel this world with you. I want to go beyond the space, beyond this parking lot. That's what I mean in your apartment all the time. I want to go beyond this parking lot. I want to go beyond this driveway, you know,
Yeah.
and travel, have sex in different places, in different
All
states,
right.
in different hotels.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Gentlemen,
Uh,
ladies and gentlemen, I will be disappearing shortly.
sure. Sure. Okay. Yeah.
So
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy.
absolutely.
Yeah, Titus. There's another phenomenon in our community. We talk about the host traveling and waiting. Like most of our guys, the only place they want to travel is Liberia. Our lady don't seems to be interested in that. What the only place our guys want to travel, into
Oh boy.
Liberia or
Yeah,
somewhere in
Because the
from
men
Africa.
ain't going to change oil.
Wait,
We
Chairman.
put us out there. I didn't
God
debate the men
bless
will
This
change
you.
oil.
And
Sam, can you please wait? Can you please wait?
Not me.
Titus.
Sam
they
is
giving
big.
out a game. Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
I go on. I see ya.
Tyler, what's your take? Tyler, what's your take
It's
on that?
good seeing you, brothers.
Guys that are going to Liberia but neglecting to take their wives or their fiancés on vacations, maybe right to Arizona or to
You
or to
can take.
Philadelphia.
When you say they're going to Liberia, are they going with their partners or going alone?
No, they are going alone. Most the phenomenon in our community, most folks are going to Africa. Most men go to Africa alone. They don't travel with their partners.
From my experience and the circle I've been in,
Hmm.
going to Liberia really comes with using one stone to kill multiple birds. So you're seeing family, friends, you're resting, and then people are taking on projects in Liberia.
Hmm.
So most of the time, I think that's why the Liberia location is kind of dominant amongst men, especially Liberian men who want to go back there. So you can do business, you can do pleasure at the same time. You can rest. It's really a place for de-stressing a lot.
Okay.
That has been my experience. But I do agree with you, Abe, that we need to explore different areas with our spouses, right? I think one of the reasons why men really don't show that there's a lot is we don't know how to we a lot of us are weak in budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
The money management, the women do that better. And
And that's the thing.
since that going away or that vacation is not really on our minds, we barely budget for it. If you save and you planning and you budgeting, I think it'll be easier to take the spouse or the family or everybody away, vacation. You find out most of the time these things are not really that expensive, but because we're not budgeting, we're not planning for it, it just seems, impossible most times.
Okay. Peterson, real quick here, right? I mean, Tyler's messaging about de-stressing. Why not take your wife to the Caribbean island to de-stress instead of going Liberia?
And working on project. Don't leave that part. Oh, I beg you.
No, yeah, it's like what he said. A lot of people do uh, killing multiple birds with one stone type of thing. But uh, in the same line, I wouldn't take going to Liberia as like vacation. If I'm not going there to see my family, it's not a vacation spot. And if I do go, I will take my wife and my kids, or one of the kids if I can take everybody. So to make sure that you carry somebody, because Liberia, if you go alone, the temptation is too much.
Wow.
Besides it, besides being like tempted to step out of your marriage or relationship, it's just the financial burden that people put on you. There are so many other things that go into that. So uh, like Tyler said, for the men, we need to step up, and a lot of us we don't have that like planning capacity to say, oh, okay, this year, um, in the summertime, let's take 2 weeks. Put in your 2 weeks at the beginning of the year so we can go somewhere. I'll take you somewhere. For me, it's like my wife. She's like, let's go this place. I'm like, okay, well, it's 2 weeks from now. Okay, I'll get the ticket and we'll go. So she brings up the idea, and then of course I'm the one to support it or to make it happen, to execute it. So, but traveling is always good.
Okay.
Um, like Sam was saying, you don't have to sit in your apartment or in your house all the time, even if you work 24 hours.
Okay, the question is to you, Kwan, I want you to address it. So you think carrying your wife or your child to Liberia will stop all the temptation that's there? Will stop you from being tempted?
No, I'm not saying it would stop you from being tempted. I mean, if you are tempted with your partner there, at least you have a better way out to say, oh, okay, I'm not going to go along with this temptation.
Okay, thank you. Patience. What can we do? What can the ladies do? The ladies in our community, our African ladies, immigrant ladies, do to encourage their men to what? Spice up the relationship, meaning like traveling, doing stuff. Because sometimes, right, we men, we might just say, you know what? Hey, she's not asking me, I'm not going to do it. Like Peterson said, his wife does the planning, like Miss B does the planning, and just, hey, ask her husband, pay for it. Why can't more women do that?
First of all, we need to take it back to like the dating stage. You should match up with someone who has the same vision, the same semi personality of the things that you enjoy doing. That's a mistake for us women we make, because our main focus is on we want to get married, and then we forget what we enjoy doing, the things that we want to do and experience. We just focus on the married part, that we settle for whoever that asks us to marry them, pretty much. Then later on in the future, it become a problem. Like, he's not doing this, he's not doing that. That's who he was when you guys first met. The only
Yeah.
difference now is you guys are married. He has always been comfortable in sitting in the house and not traveling. And if you like to travel, you ask him one or two times, he don't want to do it, book a flight. Go on your vacation and come back. If you do that a couple times, he'll be like, okay, she mean business. This is what she wants. Then he will come along. But if you can't just keep making the same noise over and over and over and over and not doing anything to solve the problem.
But what if you buy the tickets for the both of you? Is your, I mean, if you guys are married, is your both of your income, right? Is that two? Is that two shall become one? Why can't you, as the female, buy the ticket and you travel together?
I mean, they have some men who you can buy the ticket and be like, I have to work, I won't be able to make it. They have some men who are just like that, like, sorry, honey, I can't take off. And that's where it comes in. You go. The next time he do it again, you go. And the third time, you don't buy a ticket for him anymore, because at this one in time, I'm wasting money. I want to travel, and you want to stay home and babysit and make the money for me to travel. Good. I'm gonna travel. But the main point to it is, when we start dating these
Hello, is that
men.
caller?
Oh,
Envy, this is Sam. Put me through if we have time.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, patient. Sorry.
yeah. When we start dating, we really need to bring all of these things to the table. Like, ask this person, what do you like to do? Do you enjoy traveling? I mean, even with everything, like, go back to everything, because there's a lot of mistake going on in the African community now with this whole
Okay,
marriage
just hold
thing.
on. We have a contributor here. I want to contribute quick. Just hold on, please. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, good evening again. I left the show, but I want to contribute something quickly here.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm listening. And I want to contribute again. Frankly, when you're dating a person, this is the time for you to set some things straight, very straight at that. Because anything that doesn't get fixed in your dating stage will only most likely become worse when
Okay.
you're married. Because when people are married, they get complicit. So we that scheduling sex, we schedule on Saturdays. Those not taking vacation, those double you working. Your husband is not helping you. Why your boyfriend is not helping you when you guys are dating? Those things are red flags. You need to nip it in the bud. If you can't nip it in the bud, move on. If you don't move on, that means you're settling for that. And these are just my parts and statements tonight with anybody who's watching us tonight.
Okay.
So, folks, thank you for having me through there.
Okay.
And I want to say you guys have a good night.
Okay, thank you, Sam. So, guys, there's a wait here, Peterson. There's a great discussion. Tonight we're not going to take 1 hour 30 minutes. We've been here now for about an hour. We just go 1 hour 15 minutes because it's a very important discussion. So we'll make sure we give you guys the opportunity, for the next 13, 12 minutes, for us to, for your contribution, and things like that. Peterson, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was going to make a comment to what Sam was just saying, and I don't know if it's more of a question. So, if all of these things are discussed during the dating stage, are you it's in the context that both of you are living together or separate? Because unless you are in the same space and then you're thinking about these things later on, like, oh, okay, what happens when we get married? Are we going to always be traveling? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? I don't like schedules. Don't schedule me. So would it be when you are like engaged and living together, or just dating?
Okay, patience. I know. First of all, let me just let our folks know. Yeah, the kind of 6 months. I mean, 6 months type of person. So
That was
within,
last week's story, Biggie.
yeah, that's very good.
We
So
leave
within
this
that 6
episode.
months, are you doing all your background check? Are you doing within that 6 months? Are you doing
Within
your
that
background
6 months, yeah, within that 6 months, first of all, the first, like, like to answer your question, Peterson, this is like on a date type of question. Like this is the getting to know you stage where you're asking this person, do you love to travel? How many kids do you want to have? What is your parenting style? Are you a family oriented person? Like
Mhm.
this is the getting to know you questions that you ask when you meet a person. Then that determines if you want to be in a depending on the answer, it determine you know within yourself what you like as a person and what
Mhm.
you enjoy doing. You
Okay.
make your decisions off of what that person said
Okay.
and who you are. That's
Okay.
the getting
Thank you.
to know you questions over there.
Okay, thank you, Miss B. After, like, I mean, to the whole, I mean, to Peterson question, I think I would drag you a little bit. You have done all your background search. You have found out all your information, but nothing is 100% perfect. You say, you know what, I will roll with this. Maybe I can change it. I mean, what will you say to that? You say, you know what, I can change it once you get married. We can work on it.
Reality is this: we started out young, in our 20s together. We're a young couple. There are no kids in the picture.
Okay.
And yes, we're going at it like jackrabbits. That's just the reality. We're early in our careers, it's entry level, you know. And then kids come into the picture, you're moving up in your career. And yes, unfortunately, I tell people it's like I'm never going to be doing 100% on every single aspect of my life. There'll be times when I'm a better parent than I am an employee. And there'll be time I'm a better wife than I am a better parent, right? And so I think if you're always communicating to what works for you, then that makes sense. There'll be a time when we'll be empty nester. Oh, hello. That's when all that random stuff will be back at it. We have no excuse from the time we hit the door. Yes. So
So
it's
you
like
waiting to
all
be
this
old? You waiting be
play
you wait
different
you
seasons
waiting
Enjoy.
for it to be old before you can cut up the whole
Yeah.
schedule. You waiting for it to be old
of
before you can cut up the whole schedule again.
Who's gonna be old around here? For one thing, let me tell you this. I'm not
Okay.
wearing lapa around this house. I'm not wearing head tie. And I keep fit.
Okay.
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 So,
Thank
but
you.
it's just the reality of my schedule right now, right? And I
Okay.
try to have times during the week when it's going to work. Like for instance, tonight is one of those nights it's going to work. Right?
Okay.
All the cards
Yeah.
are laid out and it's going
I
and it's
think we are
going to
making progress here. We are making
Hey,
progress.
I'm just listening.
Cycle
Long
Don't
podcast
get
schedule.
your lick,
is
yeah,
making progress
sister.
here. So your husband should tell us thank you. Cycle
Shout
podcast
out.
is
On
making progress
schedule.
here. Titus, where do the kids factor into this? One of the phenomenon too in our community, right? It's like sometimes we don't factor in the kids. Like we didn't mention it. We don't pay any attention to our kids. It's only always the women, taking them to their games, to their soccer game, to their football game, to their basketball game, or to their conferences. Where do our kids factor into this equation with the whole family balance?
I mean, they're right there in the middle of everything. So the men, like we've all been saying, men must pick up some of this slice, if not more of it. The woman cannot do everything. Then she's beat up. I mean, that stuff again. That's another thing that would be so boring. Your woman is so tired, and you still feel like you can go there and do what? You're gonna abuse somebody's daughter. No energy. It should be interactive. It should be for both people's in pleasure and enjoyment. So the games, again, the scheduling comes with the work schedule for both partners. Hey, I'm working on this day. My schedule is this. When is this other man's game? I can take him, or you can take him this time. Work together as a partnership. Bring the scheduling together, the family activity, everything. Like pick up the slice more. I know traditionally the women are nurturers and all that, and men are providers, but still, women are out here working, just like we all alluded to.
Okay.
Men, you're working, but you have to also be there in that home, picking up a lot of those slices. Cook sometimes. I love to cook on the weekends, right? When I'm free.
Yeah.
Cook sometimes, clean up. She's cooking, clean up. Took these kids, get them straightened up. She shouldn't have to be screaming, taking care of everything else, and then behind kids again is really draining. So,
Okay.
yeah, they're right there in the middle of everything, and we as men we must be responsible enough to pick up some of the slices.
Okay, thank you. The last thing I would like to, I mean, we'll soon be closing, but last thing I would like to bring to, we African family, right? It's not only sometimes our immediate family, our wife and kids. Sometimes our mother-in-law, our father-in-law is in the equation. Maybe living with us, or what have you. How does that extended family dynamics fit into it? Let's assume you're one of those family, your father-in-law is in the house or your mother-in-law is in the house. How do you cope with that? Peter, okay, Dream, I'll go to you.
It gets spoiled everything for me. Yeah, because so I don't know about other people's situations, but if from what I've experienced, if you have like a mother-in-law in the house or a brother or sister, especially from the man's side, the man family sometimes they want to get overly involved, into the relationship. All want to be about their brother, their son, and whatnot, and those things. And if the man is somebody who's all about pleasing his family, he's gonna be telling you, he say, "Oh, can we have some time to ourselves? Can we have? Oh, what about my brother? What about my mom? What about They don't want to like get together and make it just about. Sometimes family just need husband and wife just need time to themselves. But having family in the house, and then if this person is not about that, especially African men, they want to get their family involved into everything you guys are doing. Those things can cause problem, and I feel like people should try to, if you and your partner need time, work on it. Forget the family, forget the extended family. All those people are outsiders. The Bible said a man will leave his mother and father and clings to his wife. So if that woman is your woman and she needs time, or if your family needs time, let it be about them, and everybody else is just third party. So I
Do you think it's advisable to have an extended family in a home, in a marital home? Miss B.
No, it is
Wait, wait,
not.
wait, 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 wait. You Miss B. Quick,
I
real
don't-
quick. Do you think it's advisable to have an extended family member in a marital home? That's our African family experience, right? The reason I'm bringing this up, right? We are talking about balancing work
Mhm.
and life and family. Most of
To
us
bring
African, that's a
to
dynamic.
bring that person.
No, no. Let's assume your mother-in-law is here or your father-in-law is here, okay? And maybe they reached to a point they cannot work anymore, even if they can work, but the situation can't allow them to work, and they want to move in with you guys. Do you think it's advisable, based on our culture? Do you think it's advisable to have them in a home with you?
Unfortunately, I'm finding that a lot of marital homes are having issues with mother-in-laws and father-in-laws. Um, my husband's both parents have passed away, and my mom, has passed away. So, and my father is not someone who is looking to come and be in our home. I don't see that being a dynamic for me.
Mhm.
He's in between America and Liberia. So, but I don't think it's unfortunate, traditionally, yes. And I think traditionally, like my mom's mom and dad would be in the home and be quiet and keep things to themselves and not have too much of an opinion about what's going on in your household. My mom's generation, not so much. They want to have a lot of opinion and, influence a lot of things that's going on in the household. And unfortunately, that has caused marriages to end, relationships, has caused divide, and husband and wives to almost leave each other. So it's unfortunate, but I'd say it's probably best to have your parent live outside of the home if you
Mhm.
guys can financially afford to do that, to provide a housing for them outside of your home. That would probably be the thing to do. I wouldn't advise that, given
Pe-
all the things that I know.
Okay, Peterson, how will you navigate your mother-in-law living in your marital home?
Yeah, so for me, I would say I don't advise it either, but I mean, there are always people that you will find pleasant to be around, or that they are so quiet that you're like, okay, well, this person, they're here, but it's like they're not even here because they mind their business. They don't want to take sides to say, oh, okay, I'm telling my daughter or my son this because you are considered grown at that point. But from our cultural background, where you are always consider a kid to your your parent. They
Okay.
can, if they come into your home and they try to like reprimand you or try to belittle you in front of your partner, then that's a problem.
Okay. Patience, what's your take on that? Having your mother-in-law, your father-in-law in your marital home.
For me, it's not ideal because first and first, I need somewhere to send the kids so me and my husband can be free and run around the house.
Okay.
And secondly, it's just once your parents at home with you, it still feel like you're living with your parents. You don't
Hmm.
have as much freedom
Okay.
as like husbands and wife because you have to take them into consideration. It's easier for you to tell the kids to go to bed. You can't tell your parents to go to bed. So
Okay. Thank
yeah.
you. Title, what's your take on that? As a Pan-Africanist,
It
your
work. It
mother-in-law.
works best back home where we're from.
Yeah.
Most of us, our point of reference, we watch our dads, take care of the entire family, and the mother-in-law
Yeah.
is in the home until their her demise. But over here, I agree with everyone. It's not advisable. Some in-laws are nosy, man, very
Very.
nosy. Some in-laws are troublemakers, and even the parents who just want the marriages and the relationships for their kids to
Mm.
to thrive.
Yeah.
Most of them they don't even want to live there. They just want to visit and be out of there. If you're worried about housing and all that stuff, there are resources out here to get them housing. Okay,
Okay.
you don't have to be the one to put all of that burden on you, because quite honestly, like everyone is saying, it causes more trouble and harms in relationships and marriages than good.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for that great answer. I mean, it's like we have covered all the dynamics of the African immigrant family, from the man to the woman to our kids to our mother-in-laws. And then, women are working hard in this country. We should acknowledge that. To our men, you also got to contribute. But as we close on this topic tonight, we bring these topics here, right, on our show. It's the community show. It's a family-oriented show. We discuss these things because these are things that happen in our community. What would be your message to the folks out there that are listening to us? To the wife working 16 hours, to the man who just sitting on the couch, flipping channel, and his wife is pushing all those hours. Or maybe they're working, both of them working so hard, but the wife comes home, she has to do all those other things. Miss B, what is the message to our audience tonight? What is your party message as we close?
Like Patience said, our ladies use that voice. I work for an advocacy organization, and it's unfortunate sometimes you advocate for other people all the time and you forget to advocate for yourself. But yeah, use that voice, ask for help. We shouldn't have to, but men are from Mars and women are from Venus. And unfortunately, we have to ask for and communicate everything that we need and be clear and precise and tell them exactly how you want it, when you want it, even if you have to schedule time. Be able to do that. There's nothing wrong with scheduling time and making things to work the best way possible for you and everyone, right? And don't forget to take care of self at the end of the day. I think that's the best way to balance like work, life, and family is to factor time for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Self-care is very much important. Both husband and wife, separately, together, factor time for yourself.
Okay. Peterson, what's your closing message to our audience that have been listening to this great discussion? I think our panelists have been great tonight. What's your message to them about
Yeah,
balancing work, life and family? What's your message to them?
yeah. Thanks to everyone that tuned in. And this is another great topic. And what I would say is like in the culture, the country that we live in today, everybody work. This is not, I don't know, 1920s that would say, oh yeah, the woman is just at home. And this is why even when we all came here, they were always talking about soccer mom, because the moms were always home. So they were the ones like taking the kids everywhere. And it's almost like the fathers were never involved. So as men, we need to make time. And like Dream said earlier, you don't have to wait for her to say, "Oh, can you help me with this? Can you help me with the laundry?" We have eyes. If you see something, do something about it. If you don't see laundry piled up and then you wait for her to finish with her work week before she does the laundry. So we need to help out more around the house and step up.
Dream, what's your advice to those out there that have listened to you tonight, that have listened to all the panel? What's your advice to them how to balance their work life and their family?
Well, thank you guys so much. This was really fun. I enjoyed it. And I would like to say to have a balance, like I said in my opening statement, set boundaries, priorities, take care of yourself because you have to be, seen to be able to take care of other people, especially your family, and be able to have that balance. So prioritize, have a schedule or routine, learn to say no to things that, are going to affect whether it's your work or your family, and always prioritize your family because family is very important, like I said earlier.
Okay.
Prioritize your kids, prioritize your wife, set boundaries.
Okay. Titus, to the ladies out there that are scheduling their men, to the,
Oh,
I mean, what would be your party message, to them and to everyone else listening, to us here tonight?
Well, first, Abe, I gotta say thank you for driving the conversation in such a way we were able to touch on multiple components tonight. So that was really great. I enjoy myself too, and thanks to everyone for participating. Look, man, ladies, stop putting your man on schedule. It's so unnatural. It is so natural, you know. Intimacy is something, is a communication between you and your partner. It's natural. When you start to put days and times on that stuff, it brings up an unnatural feeling. Pay attention to your partner, like everyone has been saying. Men, step up more. I believe in a relationship as 100, right? Each person put in 100%. That's the type of partnership that I believe in. Everybody put in 100%. Relationships have different dynamics, so obviously do what works for you. But men, we are leaders. We love to be the leader. So like these ladies were saying tonight, why wait for a woman to ask you repeatedly to do something? I mean, you're there, you're right there. When it comes to other things, you want to lead. So why not pay attention to your partner and lead in those other areas where she doesn't have to feel like you're not available for her emotionally. Those type of relationships are really thriving when you can hear your partner without the other person speaking. Really thriving relationship. So thank you for this conversation. I think we learned a lot tonight about balancing work life and family.
Okay, thank you, Titus. Patience, tonight you have the last word. What is your party message to all the folks out there to the relationships out there that have this unbalance? What's your advice to them to find that balance? What's your advice to them, to our audience, to the great folks that have listened to you tonight? How can they find that balance?
Well, thanks to everybody for watching, and this was a great discussion. And to my ladies, if your career is getting in the way of your family and your spouse, maybe you should revisit that. I mean, find another path too. There's always different career that works around your family. At the end of the day, your family come first. These jobs, when they're ready to let you go, they're gonna let you go and replace you the next day. Make time for your family, make time for your kids, make time for your spouses, because that's the only reason why a lot of husbands are out here chasing us single women, because y'all not making time for them at home. Communicate with him, talk to him. There's no reason why your husband should be home in your home. He's downstairs in the basement while you're slaving upstairs. Call him upstairs. You guys work as team. Those are some of the intimacy, doing things together, cooking together, doing laundry together. And if he's slacking, you don't have to have a real problem to go to therapy or go to a counselor. Find a way to let him know that, look here, we are partners. Help me out. I need help. And like Dream said, men are not babies. Men are babies. If you talk to the old folks, they'll tell you these men are big babies walking around. You literally have to screw it in their head. Like, tell them, I'm struggling. I need the help. Sometimes you even need to slap that headset for them to get it right. We need to speak out. We have to speak out because we have made ourselves slaves in our own homes. which is not how it's supposed to be. Because that's here for better for worse. That is someone who's supposed to make you feel at ease at home and in every aspect of your life. So speak up. Ask for the help that you need. If he's not giving it to you, then y'all need to talk more, because there's no way you should be the only one taking on all the weight of the family in the home. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. With that, guys, we have come to the conclusion, to the end of our show tonight. It's been a great show. As always, our panelists, man, our panelists are great. They answer the question, to give us great ideas, great knowledge. It's been a great show tonight. Tomorrow, we're taking a different trend. We're going to be discussing business, but we are here every Tuesdays and Thursdays discussing this kind
Together
of
we
topic.
rise for the
So,
strong
We'll
and the
find true love here again.
Somebody want to make sure if I go to find out love. This is the wrong place.
you know, so yeah, we are not we are not
We're not
matchmakers.
matchmakers on
We
here.
are not
Sorry.
matchmakers. So, but we are having this kind of conversation because it is important to our community. I just want to thank all of our panelists, for always educating our audience out there. You guys are doing a great job. Really, really want to appreciate you guys. Let's keep it up. Let's keep building this platform. Folks are learning a lot from us. Hey, man, share. Encourage folks to tune in. We are here every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Fridays. We take a different time. So thank you to our audience. Thank you guys, and thanks to everyone. Good night. See you guys tomorrow.
Good night,
Good
guys.
night.
Together as one.